So the Justice League and Heroes of Earth almost lose everything here. Their watchtower destroyed, their heroes kidnapped and imprisoned, and Batman and Superman, the world's finest duo, might even become taken over by a grave evil. But this is AJ here at the Hero Informer, and let's get into it. So I mean, just disregarding all of the bad stuff I just said a second ago, we actually pick up and start at a pretty wholesome moment, where we see the heroes, the Justice League, at their watchtower, their satellite, as the heroes all gather around and talk about their day and current crime-fighting activities while they wait to watch a solar eclipse happen, with Oliver Queen, the Green Arrow in particular, asking Superman about one of his recent battles and how he stopped an immortal giant with just one punch, specifically a right hook. But soon enough, it is time for everybody to gather around and watch as the eclipse starts to happen, which of course, having front row seats in space is pretty breathtaking. But soon something will happen to the Justice League which, to put in short, is pretty not breathtaking. As when Superman turns around and calls out the Green Lantern, we see that some of the heroes have been taken over, completely being controlled, gearing up for a Justice League civil war amongst themselves. But before we can continue this giant battle, we cut back in time 24 hours beforehand, where we get some juicy lore about what is happening and what is causing this now evil-controlled Justice League, as we see the Justice League themselves helping to rebuild Solar City, a city with some pretty ambitious goals, an entire city to be completely fueled and powered by solar energy, hence the name of course. And this entire project is being overseen by someone named Bruce Gordon, who, if you know who he is and who he is connected to, you can already see what direction the story is going in. But this giant project and construction doesn't come without its little problems, as we do see some criminals try to sneak in and steal away some of this advanced technology, which I don't get why you would pick this time when the entire Justice League is present, especially if you're not someone named Darkseid, Doomsday, Reverse Flash, like any real powerhouses, and just are some normal criminal. But we do see the problem is solved by Batman and Robin respectively. And as they are there rounding up criminals, Robin brings up a pretty interesting question, specifically towards Bruce Gordon, who is the project leader for this entire situation, because Bruce Gordon has a history with Eclipso. Yes, the same powerful Eclipso who was previously the Spirit of Wrath, before the Spectre that is, but they shared the same job title and at their peaks are on the same tier of power. And if you know just how powerful the Spectre is, Eclipso is no laughing matter. But Robin goes on to voice his concerns, basically saying, shouldn't we be more cautious of Bruce Gordon, who has been previously the conduit or Eclipso's main host before? Shouldn't they be more cautious of working with him? But Batman, being ever so prevalent and thinking of plans, he tells Robin to relax, because the last time that they faced Eclipso, they managed to permanently exorcise him from Bruce Gordon and re-imprison him within his own Black Diamond, which is a sort of capsule that imprisons Eclipso. But Eclipso has ways around this. But moving over hours later that same day, we see Bruce Gordon at his personal headquarters talking with his wife, because in his own words, he thinks this entire project is a failure because they are only at 92% efficiency for the entire city, as he completely freaks out and overreacts because he is trying to set a good impression for all the wrong he has done as being a host of Eclipso, a pretty murderous and evil being, and he was the conduit in the middle of it all. And as he is panicking and freaking out, he then goes through some of the old villain technology that the Justice League has given to him to help with this project to see if there's anything that he can use, anything that they have missed before that could bring their 92% to 100% of efficiency for this project. And this right here is the pivotal moment where everything goes wrong, because as rummaging through this case of Dr. Light's tech, a secret compartment which holds some kind of chip, and just being in the vicinity of this awakens something dark and evil thousands of miles away, as we see the spirit of Eclipso shifting awake and getting ready to inflict his new reign of terror, because this Prometheum cell that Bruce Gordon thinks he is holding isn't the case. It's an illusion, a trick to get Bruce Gordon, a previous host, to come in contact with one of the shards of the Black Diamond, the prison that is holding Eclipso. And this is very important because anyone who comes into contact with any one of the shards becomes an easy accessible host for Eclipso to possess and come out in full power. As suddenly there's a giant explosion, and as the dust settles a little bit and his wife badly hurt, we look up and see Bruce Gordon, but not as he was before. No, he is something new, something different. He is now Eclipso, or at least being possessed by the little piece of the Black Diamond that he has. But now with Eclipso awake and still imprisoned within the main diamond, this is all Eclipso needs, being as powerful as he is, to break free, shattering the Black Diamond and coming out in full totality. But now coming back to present day, as Batman finally arrives and teleports on the Justice League satellite, he is surprised to see that the entire Justice League is going to war with each other. And you know, for Batman, the man who obsessively plans and thinks of strategies for everything, for him to be surprised, it would have to be something major, and something nobody's seen coming. Because on one side we see Superman, Red Tornado, the Flash being normal and in the right state of mind, versus Green Lantern, Green Arrow, and Black Canary, and the Atom, who are under the effects of Eclipso. But we see Flash trying to use his super speed, trying to get things done. Unfortunately, the Atom has already shrunk down and got inside of his ear, inside of his body, taking him out from the inside out. All while Superman tries to explain to Batman the situation, how Eclipso Eclipso possessed the Justice League. But this is a grave mistake for Superman because he is distracted. Distracted long enough for Green Arrow to pull out, well, a green arrow. A specialized kryptonite tipped arrow that he had in his quiver. Which, I mean, why would he just randomly have a kryptonite arrow near Superman in his quiver just on a moment's notice? But he is able to get a shot off and shoot Superman in the back, impaling him and downing him for now. All while Batman himself is also incapacitated by a Black Canary scream. But thankfully, Batman and Superman aren't the only heroes still here in their right mind, as Elongated Man and Red Tornado come to their rescue, throwing the other possessed heroes off their balance and letting the dynamic duo get together and regroup, as Batman drags Superman away to help him and literally pull the arrow out of his back. But while the battle rages on in the background, we see a very interesting revelation. Because these very strong-willed heroes are being possessed, that means Eclipso has to be in the near vicinity, as he's literally on the satellite itself, with him appearing to Red Tornado. But as we find out, this meeting isn't just random and it's strategic. The Red Tornado has been purposely sent to confront Eclipso, because him being a robot or an android immediately negates one of Eclipso's most powerful abilities, the ability to possess and control people, as he doesn't have a real heart or mind. Which makes sense if you say it like that, but also is absolutely stupid when you realize these two people are on two completely different levels of power. So Eclipso, instead of using his go-to possessive move, he just simply impales him with his energy beams, taking down the Red Tornado like that. Which is pretty funny they send the Red Tornado to fight Eclipso, because it's in the same vein as Groot trying to fight Magneto. Yes, Groot is made out of wood and seemingly negates Magneto's magnetism abilities, even though Magneto doesn't technically need metal to magnetize objects and he's more powerful than that. But still, even though Groot is made out of wood and nothing metallic, there is nothing really Groot can do to Magneto, as one is severely more powerful than the other. But back to the heroes, we see Batman and Superman back up on their feet ready to fight side by side as they fight an incoming Green Lantern. Which, in a really fun and cool callback, we see Batman ask Superman, what did we do last time we fought an evil mind-controlled Hal? And of course Superman remembers saying they stole his ring and then fused into one hero. But how that wouldn't be possible now, as on that day there was just a lot of ambient magic in the air, and that they have to go with Plan B this time. And if you don't know what they're talking about, issue 4 of the same series, Batman Superman World's Finest, they actually did. They took the Lantern's ring and fused into one new being called Superbat, which in my opinion has a super top tier design. And to my knowledge, I think they only really brought him back like 2 times after that, which is criminally underrated for being that powerful and cool looking. But we see Superman's plan B is literally just to rush him and take him out just like that. Because even though Green Lantern is powerful and has one of, or if not the universe's strongest weapon, Superman is still, well, he's Superman. He is on a different level himself, so he easily disposes of Hal Jordan. And all while the fighting is happening on the satellite, we see back on Earth, a controlled Bruce Gordon is building something, building a devastating weapon, building it and aiming it high at the satellite in the sky itself. But back on a tower, we see the duo, Batman and Superman, now confront Eclipso himself. With all the other heroes either taken out or controlled themselves, it is up to the world's finest, the iconic tag team and duo, to get things done. Or at least that's what they should be doing, but things rarely go perfectly to plan, as Superman opens with a freeze breath attack, which of course is ineffective against someone on Eclipso's level. We then see a couple things happen in succession really fast. First off, while Red Tornado was heavily damaged, he wasn't taken out of commission, and so as he slowly crawls over to the satellite's teleporter, he teleports away as Superman and Eclipso go head to head at it in a giant battle. And back on Earth, we see Bruce Gordon, still controlled by Eclipso, shoot a now fully built solar ray, which was harnessing enough power to power an entire city up into the sky straight at the satellite, instantaneously blowing it up in one fell swoop, meaning the Justice League and anyone else that was on there could potentially have severe repercussions being caught in a blast like this, especially for some of the underpowered heroes and not the top tiers like Superman. But now back on Earth in Civic City, we see where Red Tornado actually landed, as he teleported down, because he had a plan to not just get away and escape from the fighting as he is hurt, but he went to seek help, as he crawls and drags himself onto some doorsteps. And with the people inside opening up and taking him in, Red Tornado tries to explain what's happening. It's Eclipso and how he is taking the league, which of course is a pretty powerful feat in and of itself, because on the Justice League, they are some of the most powerful beings in not only on Earth, but the entire universe, right? Which is good, but bad in this case because they have been either defeated or taken over, but they are not the only powerful beings within DC's Earth and universe, as we see Red Tornado enlisted the help of the Justice Society, which their team includes some powerful hitters themselves, such as Dr. Fate, Alan Scott their Green Lantern, and Jay Garrick their Flash. So it seems this story is about to pit one Justice team against the other in a full-on war. But we will see how this furthers next time, as this video and story now comes to a close. If you have enjoyed, leave a like, or subscribe if you're new and want to see more of this type of content. As always, this is the Hero Informer, and thank you for watching.